Alright, now that we've learned why matter matters, let's look at chapter 7.3 and see what the building blocks of matter are. Keep in mind the three states of matter that we're going to talk about are solids, liquids, and gases. Just to review real quickly what you'll need paper to complete your Instagrams, you'll need your science composition book, a pencil, and as always you're going to need that positive attitude. First, let's look at the essential questions. First one, what makes up elements? And number two, what happens when elements are combined? And number three, how does matter change? Let's begin our vocabulary now. Our first word is atom. An atom is the smallest unit of an element that has all the properties of that element, such as what we're looking at here. This is a carbon atom. Our next word is element. Element is a matter that is made of only one kind of atom. For example, our hydrogen atoms are an element. Now let's look at how matter can change. First, let's talk about physical changes. A physical change is a change that begins and ends with the same type of matter. As we've discussed before, we have solid water, liquid water, and gas water. However, they are all still H2O. They haven't changed the type of matter they are, they've just changed their state of matter. And that's how we define a physical change. Now, a chemical change is a little more complicated. A chemical change produces new matter with different properties from the original matter. Let's look at our pictures here. First, we have this nail. This nail is not rusted, it's just an iron nail. But once it has been exposed to the elements, it begins to rust. Rust is not iron, it is iron oxide, which is a new type of matter. It has different properties than the original, and it cannot be returned to the original. Another example here is fire. Anytime you burn something and change it to ash, it has changed the properties from the original matter, and it is a chemical change. So cooking, burning, anytime heat is really applied to a kind of matter, it is normally a chemical change. What is a compound? A compound is any substance made of two or more elements that are joined together and lose their original properties. You see our example here of salt. Salt is sodium chloride, which is two elements that are combined together and to become salt. But they're not sodium and they're not chloride. They're considered one element or one compound. Next, we have another way to combine them is a mixture. A mixture is when two or more types of matter that are mixed together but keep their own properties. For an example, we're just going to use jelly beans because it's easy to understand. We have yellow, we have red, we have green, we have orange. When we mix them all together, we still have yellow, red, green, and orange jelly beans, but they're combined as a group. However, we can separate these again. If you remember right in our video with the Magic School Bus, when the sugar and water combined to be a mixture, the water molecules and the sugar molecules were separate still, so they were able to be separated. That would be a mixture. Alright, that's our words. Okay, so now let's look at our essential questions. First one is, what makes up elements? And the answer is, an element is made up of one kind of atom. If it has more than one kind of atom, it is not considered an element. Essential question number 2. What happens when elements are combined? as we discussed with our vocabulary words, there's two ways to combine them. They can be compounds and mixtures. Remember, compounds are when two or more elements are combined and they lose their original properties. Mixtures are when two or more elements are combined and they maintain their original properties. Essential question number 3 is, how does matter change? And we talked about the different changes that occur. Changes that occur in matter can be either chemical or physical. Remember, if it's a chemical change, the molecular structure has changed and cannot be returned to its original state. A physical change is just where it changes, but it does not change the original properties of matter, such as breaking a glass. If you break a glass, it's still glass, but it has been physically changed. Okay, remember now, that's our words and our essential questions. But make sure you have your Instagrams complete for class tomorrow. You have copied the essential questions and answers into your science composition book. We will work on the flashcards in class tomorrow. And by complete Instagrams, I mean you have the word, you have the hashtag, you have a sentence, a 4th grade sentence, you have the definition, and you have a picture. Just like always, that's what we'll be looking at. And just remember, cats and hedgehogs are both liquid because they take the shape of the container they're in. Have a great night. See you tomorrow.